Just a moment ago, you were both talking about labyrinths and puzzles and kind of getting in places. I know Luno's had kind of worked with this before, but have you ever experienced a puzzle or a labyrinth that you really were having trouble to get out of? And how did you get out of it? And what types of things did you find or learn through that process? Because obviously there's going to be a steep learning curve, right? Where you're like, where am I? How did I get here? And how do I get out? So maybe if you want to just kind of talk about that a little bit. Maybe I'll let Kilindi go first.
Well, I took a challenge once from a gin after I told him that I wasn't going to smoke his viscous fluid. You know, he said, "Well, I can prepare a puzzle that you can't get out," and I said, "Well, I can get out any puzzle." And so he said, "Okay, well, you're going to go into this." You know, it was a trick. He set me up. So you can go into this puzzle box, and all you have to do is walk out the door. So I walk in, and I said, well, this is easy because, you know, the door's right there. So I walk out of the door, and I'm back in the puzzle. But it clicks smaller. In other words, the room start out this size. You walk into a room, you walk out of the room, you walk into the same room, and then the room goes and it gets smaller. So there's several doors. You walk out the door, but you're back in the same room, and it goes. And then you're saying, okay. And you keep doing this over and over, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. So you're in there, and you trying to get out, trying to figure a way out, and all of a sudden it's on you like this, and then you, okay, well, this ain't fun, you know. So you go out and you're in the same space, you can't get out of it, it's, you know, and it keeps doing this and doing this till you're almost suffocating in it. So I said, well, if it's going to get smaller, I'm going to have to get smaller to learn how to get smaller. So then it starts speeding up. So it's crushing me as I'm drawing myself smaller and smaller, and I'm trying to stay ahead of it. And I said, well, I'm gonna just have to get so small that I can walk through the molecules, the spaces in between the molecules is what I meant. And what I did was I outperformed it as far as speed is concerned, and was able to step out of the puzzle box. It was actually like a dodecahedron, you know, like a 12-sided type of thing. And that's one of the puzzles that I got out of. It was a challenge, you know, because many of them can be tricksters. Some are just plain out malevolent, angry, evil. You know, some are tricky. You know, they're gonna while you're in the puzzle and you're getting squished there. You know, they're out there laughing and stuff like that. You know, so you know, I try to stay out of those things now. You know, just okay, you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. You know, you smoke your shit, I'll smoke mine. You know, they're smoking these big hookahs. I got a Pinnacle Pro vaporizer, which I put in peppermint, mullein, and a few lotus flowers. So I'm out smoking my Pinnacle Pro vaporizer, and they're smoking their thing. But I kind of left them alone because they were always trying to trick you or fight you or something like that because you're not one of them, and they don't think you should be there. You know. Like that. So that was one of my puzzle stories.
Okay, it just came to my mind, you know, this kind of meeting, talking about it, I had never done it, you know, and because in a normal conference, scientific conference, there is no room for this, you know, so I'm very glad to be able to talk to somebody with experience, you know, so that we can share a little bit. Okay, no, it has happened to me several times. Is some sort of attack, but it is like a huge creature comes many times with like tentacle, yeah, some kind of thing, you know, but like a octopus that has this, you know, and I learned that the way is just to be calm, just and then it can cover completely my field of vision. And I just there, I just humming, and just be patient, and then gradually it will dissolve, and then take you to another place, And so the trick is not to be afraid, be calm, and just let it happen, and then it will just like But this is in the mythology everywhere, So perhaps in the temples, all these monsters that are there, it's just okay. Just keep quiet, and go through it. So I have never been hurt in any of my trips, never. And as far as malevolence, I've seen all sorts of beings, Some very curious, they want to come, and they are almost pushing each other to see me, and I'm wondering whether what do they see, how do I look to them? And one thing that I've been trying many times is to find a mirror, and they are just playing tricks with me. There is a mirror there, and as you go towards the mirror is pointing wrong, wrong direction, and then disappears, and all that. Never been able to, like have some kind of mirror there to see that. What do I look? I have the feeling, in a way, in some trips, it's like a sphere, There is like a sphere. It's like there is some glass or something like that around me, and so they come very close, Sometimes I go to places where I'm just a tourist, and they don't care about me. I would probably say, "Oh, just one more tourist," So just and they are continue doing their things, One thing that I have noticed is in certain places, is some sort of hyper-dimensional movement. Go to a place, and they are just moving for pop, pop, appear, pop. So they are just like hyper-dimensional. But casually, like walking, like we walk, they just do like that. No problem. I mean, that is the way of So, I mean, so many of these kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Want to comment? Or Evan? Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I can definitely agree with that you have to understand, after doing it so many times, you understand whatever you get into, in the morning, you're going to be out of it and hungry. Whatever you eat, whatever you encounter, that you're going to, you can get stuck in loops that you think that you'll never get out of. I've sat and, does anybody remember the movie Time Machine with Rod Taylor? And he's in the time machine, and, stuff is, at one point it's brand new, and then all of a sudden it starts deteriorating. The house falls down, and you see the dust pile up, and things like that. I've just sat and watched, like it seemed like a million years stuck in the same spot, saying, how long is this going to go on? But like I say, all you have to do is be calm, not panic, relax. And ultimately, those things they're going to change. The landscape is going to change. Whatever thing that you see there that may be a monster or whatever, it'll change, and you'll go into something else. And it's according to how your mindset is when you're doing it, where you go next. You having some difficulty, they'll put you in a place that is beautiful, pristine, and not difficult. But I'm a adventure glutton. I fighting stuff, and all that kind of thing, bringing transdimensional weapons into the space, and slaying the dragon, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a fiend for that, so it's not a problem with me. But some people aren't of that warrior sensibility, and they can get into some pretty difficult places. And even in the warrior space, you can get in some pretty difficult places. But if you relax, don't panic, it's going to change. And then, of course, as I said, it'll be morning soon. No matter how long the night, the day is going to come.